What's up, YouTube? I am Jamieson Hill, founder of Cream on Top, and today we will be figuring out which of these three lenses I am keeping. You are probably looking at this, watching this right now because you're about to start a vlog or you already have a vlog and you're looking for a simple standard zoom lens. We have the Sigma 24-70 popping in at $1,100. It's heavy. It's got a really long throw. We have the Zeiss 24-70, which is super light, compact, only about $800. It only stops down to f4.0. Do you need 2.8? We're not sure. Since the A7 III has APS-C mode and you can crop, we have the 17 to 28 Tamron 2.8. Does not move at all. Zero movement. You're not gonna lose balance on your gimbal. Which one of these am I gonna keep? Let's find out. Right now we're shooting on a Sigma 35 1.4 at 4.0. So as you see, everything is pretty sharp. We have a nice background, smooth bokeh. First up, we have the Sigma 24-70 f2.8. Right now we are at f4.0. And as you can see, with me like right here, kind of everything's in focus. It's a little bit different. It still thinks that the background is the focus point, but I think what we can do is sort of make yourself the primary subject, and now I believe I am the primary focus point. Really smooth bokeh in the back. If I get really close, the focus is now super close. And you see that bokeh on the lamp? That bokeh right there is, I mean, it's really pretty. It's really pretty. You don't see too many of the ringed edges. It gets smaller as the focus changes. Now let's take it and let's zoom it a little bit. All right, so now we're at 35, which is just like before. It looks pretty good. Smooth out of focus areas. You can kind of get up real close into the camera like this. Not bad. Let's go a little bit more. All right, so now we're at 50. As I get up in the camera, now I'm almost at the same place where I was before in the original shot. Everything in the background is blurry. Like, my eyes are super duper sharp. Really sharp. This is a great lens. Now let's move all the way to 70. I feel almost like I'm inside of the camera. I have a screen right here so I can see exactly what you're looking at. It's great. This feels like a cinema quality lens. I feel right here like I'm inside a TV show. Really. It just looks that good. It's hard to catch that focus again, but it looks really good. So now we're in APS-C crop mode. We're at 24 millimeters. I'll sit back here, catch the focus back here, let it focus up here. Really smooth, buttery. You can see the color checker. Where is it? Right there. Kind of just like disappears. Let's move to 35. Oh wow, yeah, that's really sharp. That just looks really nice. Now we're at APS-C crop with the 50, and I have to move a lot back. I'm really far away in order to get most of my body in. But if I go up close, there's some bokeh back there. It's super smooth and buttery. This looks really good. Let's go to 70. 70 millimeters, APS-C. The lens is fully extended, and as you can see, like it's like I'm zoomed like right there. It's like we're at I don't know, it's probably 100 millimeter equivalent. You can correct me in the comments below. This looks really nice. This is good. I don't know how much I'd be using this. You could probably see all of the pores in my face, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but at least it looks good. Smooth background. The background's not distracting at all. We are at f2.8 on the Sigma. APS-C crop, zoomed all the way into 70 or 105, so it's like 105 millimeters. I can't really see that much of a difference. I don't see much of a difference. You can see everything in my face for sure, but between 4.0 and 2.8, it seems to catch the focus just as good. Maybe it's not catching as quickly. It's not catching as quickly in f2.8. When it was in f.4, the lens caught pretty quickly. It would follow my head and see right there, it just moved straight through me, the focus. If I move slowly, though, the autofocus sort of sticks on me. It knows that there's a face there, but since I'm using an external monitor, there's no face detection. And so if you're using the Sony A7 III without an external recorder, you're not going to get face detection if you have a monitor right here, which I totally suggest for your viewing pleasure. So now we're at 35. We're still in the APS-C mode, and nothing really distinguishable in the background. The background is pretty blurry. We start to see, again, now we're a little bit more wide. We start to see a little bit of bokeh off of the lamp. I can kind of get in here, and those bokehs really get big. They are nice. They're beautiful bokeh. Oh, wow. They're really, really, really beautiful. You can see the whites in my eyes. You can see, actually, my eyes are bloodshot. Now we're at 24 APS-C, and wide open. It really doesn't have too much trouble following me and catching the focus on me. When it was zoomed in, it had a little bit of a hard time finding me, but in this situation, it's not as bad. Now we're back in 24 millimeter with no APS-C. It still looks, that's pretty good. Like, the background is blurred out really nicely. I don't know if I see much of a difference between f.4. See, I'll just zoom in, and you can see the difference in the bokeh. It kind of gets bigger. I mean, that looks really nice. That's some cinema quality stuff. It looks really interviewy. It looks really good. This is like, if this were your vlogging lens, you'd probably look pretty good. All right, so here we have the Zeiss 4.0, wide open, huge field of view. I don't think it doesn't look as sharp as the other one. Let's get up real close. Let's try it zoomed in. Let's move to about a 35 equivalent. It looks nice. And it seems to be tracking me pretty well. Yeah, that's pretty good. So now we're at 50 on the Zeiss. The bokeh looks very similar. All right, now we're at 70. And again, I don't really see too much of a difference between the Tamron and the Zeiss. All the way at 70. It's, I mean, maybe a little bit of sharpness difference, but it's, there it just missed me on the focus. Now it's back on me. Let's see if I move back slowly. It's not bad. In a direct comparison, there's probably a little bit of contrast difference. Or I can see there's like a little bit of a sharpness difference in this lens. You could definitely tell that it's a slightly lower build quality. The definition in the face, like the pores, like you can't really see the pores as much. They sort of, the colors kind of are like blending, and you don't see that contrast between the light and the dark as you did with the Sigma lens. Let's see what it looks like in APS-C mode. All right, so we're back here with the Zeiss in APS-C mode, which everybody says claims to be a sharper mode to shoot in. We are right now at the 24. You can see the distortion. There's not really any distortion. Let's zoom in a little bit. That's not too bad. Pretty easy to catch. It still just doesn't look as sharp as the Sigma to me. Let's zoom it in even more. It's good. It's usable, but it feels almost a bit soft. The blur is really fine to me, but it feels, oh, you can see the sweat on my lip. It's getting a little bit hot in here. I've been talking a lot. Catches focus pretty decently. It's following me. It's working. As I move in and out of the light, it blinks. It's sort of, it's a tighter focus, rack focus. Notice that, like, bam, Like super quick and not much of a breathe or not much focused breathing. There's not much focused breathing on that refocus. Pretty cinematic actually. That's not too bad. Now let's try the Tamron. Wow. Wow is the only thing that I have to say. This is a wide lens. I am in a room right now. It's about 12 feet wide and you can see almost everything. You can see the edge of the monitor. You can see all of the lights that I'm using. This is wide. We're at f2.8 right now, and sharpness I would say is probably comparable to the Sony. It's not as good as the Sigma. Let's see what happens when we zoom it. We are at 28 millimeters, so we're at the starting range of the other two lenses. It's not as sharp. Let's see how the focus tracking is. It's really very similar to the Zeiss. It's got my face good. I don't believe the contrast. Let's move into APS-C mode. The quality is a little bit better. The focus, is it focused on me? Yeah, now it's focused on me. See if I move back. Yeah, it's catching a good focus. Let's see how much bokeh we could get. It doesn't look bad. You don't really get that creamy bokeh. Let's get in really close and see what happens with that light. Oh, so now I'm in close and it's really soft. Focused on my eye. It's not crisp. There's not as much sharpness. It's actually quite soft. Wow. Wow. Compared to the Sigma, it's not as sharp. It's really not. I don't know if you would be able to tell the difference if I didn't start off with the Sigma and show you how crisp and clear and beautiful the Sigma was. I mean, as an all-around lens, this Tamron can give you that wide lens, and it can also give you the super close-up 50 millimeter equivalent in APS-C mode. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure which lens to keep. It's going to be a really tough decision figuring out which lens I'm going to keep. I already have a 35 prime that's beautiful. It's the Sigma art lens. Do I need the zoom? Do I need the standard zoom? Do I need that sharpness? This is rough. This is going to be a rough decision. I really don't know which lens to keep. All right, so I realized that to make a fair comparison of this lens, we should probably stop it down to f4.0 so that it can compare easily with the Sony, which is at f4.0. 28 millimeters, so we're kind of zoomed in on the Tamron. Here's the 17 millimeter open, and I don't really see too much more sharpness than I did before. All right, so now we're cropped in at f.4, and that looks a little bit better. It does. I feel like there's more definition in my face. Since we're stopped down, the depth of field effect isn't as much. It can focus on my eyeball. I am literally 6 inches away from the lens right now. The bokeh are all right, but you kind of got to get all the way up in the lens to even get a bokeh. The focus is on my eyeball. That's a big bokeh. The bokeh's actually not bad. It looks pretty even. Here in this mode at f4.0. Maybe the lens actually is sharp when it's 4.0. So I'm going to put all of this footage into post, and I'm going to make my recommendations later on which footage in 4K I think is actually the sharpest. As you can see, guys, there's only 2 lenses left on the table. One is the Sony Zeiss. The other one is the Tamron, and I got rid of the Sigma. Why? Because the Sigma had great quality, but both of these, if you really got into it, looked just as good. All 3 were really good lenses. The Sigma at $1,100 just didn't weigh it for me because it weighed too much. It was too long. The fact that I couldn't use it on a gimbal without the gimbal sort of tipping over was a huge factor in me sending it away. If you want to pick up any of these lenses, I put a link in the description. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated this video, give it a thumbs down. If you like me, subscribe. If you want to tell me what to do, leave a comment. If you want to see me singing in the shower, follow me on Instagram.